Hi, and thank you so much for joining. It's Finnabair here again with Prima Marketing, and we are going to do mixed media minutes. And this is going to be clear tag with some of the mixed media techniques on the top. It's going to be very shiny and very sparkly. As you can see, it's really hot, and it's really not going to be bad time for drying this time, I hope. So let's have a look, and let's look at the table. So let me switch the camera and I will show you what we are going to use in this project. Just to remind you, we are doing this clear tag. This is this idea for this mixed media minutes with me. And here are the products you can use. This is the project we are doing, and thank you so much for joining. I'm so happy to see you all. If you have some friends who may be now on Facebook and would like to see it, let them know. Please share this info, and we are going to start in a moment. So, if you look at this project, of course you need something clear to work on, and what I have, it's just very simple piece of acrylic, and That's the problem. It's hard to see what it is. It's just simple piece of acrylic. It may be also kind of the little glass that you take out from the frame that you buy somewhere. It should be not a problem to finding similar like this. It may be glass or it may be acrylic. It's up to you. Then next thing you're going to use, you need some vintage photo. This is one of Tim Holt's vintage photos. It's good to have some wire. I have coated wire from Prima. It's called wire thread, but if you can't find something similar, you can easily use a very thick thread or any kind of wire you like. Embellishments, right? We are going to use some embellishments, for example, this one. Okay, so this is set of mechanicals, one of ideas, and because I can feel there was a problem with connection, I'm just going to plug in my, okay. So for example, set like this, some kind of stencil. I'm using my own stencil. This is like the very simple, huge punchinella or polka dot design. You need brushes. I'm going to use my brushes. This is going to be just a couple of sizes to start. Now, from the art mediums, we are going to use the 3D gloss gel. You can use the one that comes in the tube. And soft gloss gel. Again, you can find one in the tube. And let's have a look. You can find soft gloss gel and 3D gloss gel in the Michael set. So that should be one of the solutions, of course. Or you can go to the independent stores and you can buy them in bigger jars. Of course, there's also huge jars like this one, but this is my personal preference. Okay. What else? We are going to use glitters. These are my fine glitters from the sets called A Bloom and from Crimson. We are going to use my mini art stones, one of my favorites from Art Ingredients. We're going to use two kinds of paint. We are going to use sparks, butterfly spells, and we are going to use a red wine metallic paint, two beautiful shades. Well, this is something that you can replace with other colors, of course. I have some of the vintage buttons, the cards, playing cards, one of the sets that were available at Michael's as well. So you can get some of the cards, but you can use the real playing card if you would like to, or a piece of paper. And then finally, element from the mold. This is one of the Prima molds from IOD collection. And this is just Fimo Air Dry. You can see this one comes from here. I did it in advance. You can use paper clay, you can use hot glue if you really want to, you can use plaster, anything goes. I'm going to break it into half anyway for this project. So this is one of the options, and it's good to have some Prima flowers, of course. Prima flowers are must-have. And if you would like to add some real vintage objects that would be like naturally rusty, you can. I'm going to use one of the rusty pen nibs. I have no idea what is the name in English for that. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the plan. Well, first of all, let's look at the final result. This is something that is almost like working on the real paper, but because we will have so much of the transparent background, it's good to add some texture to it. So we are going to start just in a moment using the 3D gloss gel as our texture. So we work clear on clear to start. And this is going to be also our adhesive. So it's good to have a little bit on the side. It's good to have some tools. For example, I'm going to use the silicone brush for application. And we are going to create the first layer. Just to give you an idea, the other side of the tag or the piece of glass, if you're working on a glass, it's not pretty at all. So what you can do with this problem, this is ugly side. Well, if you don't like it, there are many opportunities. For example, you can stick paper. I just cut this paper on the other side. So if you want to, you can use it as the home decor of the paper on the back. Very simple solution. And then, there's always option to decorate the other side as well. Another surface to work on, so why not doing that? Makes sense to me. And if you're just planning to put it on the shelf, you are not worried about the other side, you can keep it as it is. I really like this look. So this is going to be my starting point. You can always stick paper as a last step, and remember to use completely transparent glue for that, of course. Okay, so let's start quickly. Now, I figured out it may be hard to see what I'm doing on the clear tag, so I'm going to add some backgrounds from time to time. The first step is going to be simple. We are going to add transparent background on my clear tag, and I'm going to use one of the stencils and 3D gloss gel. So it's going to dry completely transparent. It's going to give us beautiful effect. So this is the first step. Okay, I put it on the white so maybe you can see a little bit more. And now I'm just using one of my... the wire is everywhere, not really. Thank you. I'm going to use my silicone brush to spread the thin coat of the 3D gloss gel. Gloss is better solution here because it's going to give us better transparency. This is clear base, so kind of naturally you would like to keep the surface shiny in every space. So I'm just trying to spread it as much as I can, and then we have this beautiful texture, which is visible now, but it's going to be something completely transparent later. So please don't forget that it is just for a couple of minutes like that. Later it will disappear. I'm cleaning my stencil before it's too late. Remember, with all the mediums, they're usually easy to clean off when they are wet, but they are very hard to clean off when they are dry. So it's much easier to take a baby wipe and just clean it off now, like I did. And because I'm going to put some layers and stick to the background, I don't really need to dry it first. So I'm going to create some of the background layers. For example, I'm going to add some flowers, maybe a little bit of the fabric tape to start. If you have some lace or some pieces of paper, this would be the moment to start the whole composition. There was a question if Prima has clear tags. No, this is the thing that I just bought years ago somewhere, and it was custom-made product, to be honest. But as I say, you can easily find something like piece of glass from the old frame or acrylic little frame that you can sorry, the glass that is basically acrylic from the frame, so you can work on the top. The best solution, IKEA, very well, on the budget solution for you. So I'm going to use a bit of the lace and a bit of the tape to start. This is just self-adhesive fabric tape from the pharmacy, so nothing fancy, and I really believe this is great. Well, yes, we are going to use the heat gun, but in a moment. Now I don't need it. I'm going to do it later because I'm saving the energy, and I'm going to put more gel anyway, so this is the reason basically. This is not the problem with the acrylic. Acrylic is going to work really nicely. This is just because I know I'm going to stick a lot of stuff on the top anyway. Okay. So just a little bit of the fabric, sticky tape, something that, well, at least in Poland you can buy in every pharmacy for almost nothing. This is like very cheap supply. But this is one of the nicest things I know to create fabric layers. Okay, we can add a little bit of the flowers, like, or the lace, to add the extra textures. You won't see much of the middle. If you are not sure how much you are going to see, the easiest way is to take one of the cards, right? And this is going to be the composition, so use it for measuring. Okay, so now you can see you've got a little bit space on this side, and you've got quite a lot of space on this side, so you know that, okay, you can stick the elements here, and for balance you can stick the elements a little bit on the other side, for example here, right? Everything will work nicely. Yep, okay, now next step, some dimension. I've got elements taken from the mold. I've got some flowers, and I'm going to stick them all using my 3D gloss gel as the adhesive. So first of all, don't be shy with the gel, because if you want elements, especially dimensional elements, to stick, it's good to have a little bit more. So I'm just putting that here in front of me, and I'm going to stick the elements in the selected places. So let's say on one side and then on the other side for the balance. So one element here, and then the second one maybe here. You can see I'm using quite a lot of gel. Yeah, so if you're not sure, again, easily you can check. Yeah, looks good. Let's do some of the layers with the flowers as well. You can see this is very well loved flower. Okay, so let's just add a big blob of gel and stick it. And again, checking, measuring. Yeah, that looks good. I need something here for the balance, so I'm taking one more. Okay, you can see. And here, there's a little flower as well. I hope you can, yeah? Maybe this one. Well, this is almost ready with the dimension. You can see we've got quite a lot here. I'm not drying that yet. Okay, I'm still adding the elements. So the next thing I can add would be 1 or 2 of these vintage buttons. I really love including real old objects in my project, so I try to find places for them and then I stick them here and there for extra textures, or if I can, I use them as the focal point. They're absolutely beautiful. That looks very good to me. Okay, now let's add a little bit of the rusty metal. In this project, I'm going to have the layers in different places, and some of them are rusty mechanicals. Some of them will go to the bottom, so I can start adding them now. Let's get the smaller ones, one for the bottom, one for the top. I'm using the elements similar to these ones from this set. So you can see you've got lovely selection. You've got some big ones if you want to use them as focal point, and then there's selection of shapes and sizes that are perfect for smaller finishing touches. Okay, so I've got one like this and maybe one like this. And these are the big ones as well. So I'm just trying to pull my composition a little bit down. I'm adding one on the bottom, and I'm going to add a little bit heavier one on the top here, next to the bottom. Okay, looks promising, I think. That is one of the probably the most funny moments, because you have to imagine how the project is going to look like once it is finished. So it's a bit of a stretch for your imagination. That's why I said it's good to have this piece of paper or the card or whatever you would like to use under your photo, so it's easier to measure. Before I'm going to start drying, I want to add one more thing. Remember I mentioned the wire or the thread? This is this layer. It's going to go under the top composition as well. So we need to make a little bit like a happy nest. Okay, so I'm just trying not to ruin my composition for now. So I'm taking a bit of the wire thread from Prima. And I'm going to create something more or less like a nest. Nice circle of wire. Not too big, trying to measure how much do I really need. Happy nest. Well, I'm sorry, like this is like, oh, remember these Bob Ross videos, and he was creating happy birds on the sky painting? This is probably the same kind of thinking. Just go with the flow, accept what it is. They're going to be just perfect no matter what you think. Look at that. Okay, happy nest. Okay, ring of the kind of dimensional as much as I can. Okay. Perfect, absolutely perfect. So this is going to go, whoops, stick it, okay, here. Again, a bit of measuring under the card or under the tag. Okay, so now how to stick it. One of the options is big blobs of gel, but you can now go and try the double-sided foam tape. This is the one from Scrapbook Adhesives, and I really like using it because it's very strong and you can heat it with the heat gun if you want to, which is great because it's perfect for my mixed media purposes, and sometimes when I need extra dimension, this is working for me perfectly. So what I'm doing, I'm just giving this wire a chance to stick to something. It's a challenge, as you can see. Ah, it's sticking everywhere, right? And now we are going to add the card on the top. Of course, I need to give it some support, but my plan is to decorate it a little bit before gluing. So let me now dry it with the heat gun, and if you have any questions, I will try to answer. Right, so I let it dry a little bit on the side. Now let's look at our card and try to think how to arrange composition with the photo. I picked these ladies. I really love their faces. I think they have some stories to tell. And again, we were going to work with dimension. So I have more of the flowers. I have more of the buttons. I have some of the bigger embellishments. For example, this metal piece. And I just need to place my composition more or less in the middle. So it's good to find out where would you like your photo to go before you're going to stick anything. So you can go closer to one edge or to the other edge. It's up to you. And kind of, I think I'm going to go here, similar to the first composition I did. So now, and this is drying in the meantime. And here I'm going to work a bit with more of the layers. So let's stick using 3D gloss gel or heavy body gel. You can easily get the result you like. And I keep using my acrylic tag to measure where the things should go. Okay. That works. So I can now put the button. Yeah, that's a good placement. And on the other side, I would like to put some flowers. So I will try to use this one to start. This is going to go under the photo. I didn't cut any flower yet. Did you notice? I'm really, really good girl today. This one is still fine and I'm not going to cut it. This is just amazing, I think. I'm not sure if I'm 100% of myself today because this is surprising. And again, if you have some elements you would like to add, these are some rusty nails or maybe, as I said, this little element from the fountain pen. You can stick it using the heavy body gel and wait, or like me, I was cheating a little bit because I really wanted to make the project quickly. I used again the double-sided tape. So make sure later you're not going to see it, right? This is the plan. I have to hide the edge of the double-sided tape. So before I'm going to stick the elements, maybe a bit more of the finishing touches. That will be nice. Oh, a little bit lower. Then I need something on the top for the balance as well, maybe on this side. As you can see, this is not clean gluing at all. And again, there is a reason you won't be able to see it. This is all going to be transparent and covered with color anyway. Looks nice to me. I think I can put it all together. So a little bit more of the dimensional foam to make sure this is going to stay in place. Let's hope this is not too much. Okay. Of course, you can also use a lot of 3D gel, or you can cut a little bit of cardboard and place it in the middle for extra dimension, this is a very good solution. It's going to give you the dimension, and you just need to stick the elements just in the right place. For example, gel will hold them really well. Okay, that will work. Just one more layer, because it is absolutely too okay, that should work. So this element is ready to stick on our tag. You can see the gel is turning clear almost completely now. This is just something that you can apply and then wait and dry naturally, or you can use the heat gun. But with the heat gun on acrylic, as we mentioned, try to be careful not to burn your acrylic tag, because that would be kind of a shame. I never had problems, but I'm quite vigorous with the drying. Okay, I hope you can see the composition a little bit better now. And I'm not sticking the photo yet. I'm just going to put it as almost last step of my project, so I can spray and paint easily. I have the spaces here ready. Now it's time to put my piece of paper on the top. So I'm taking my card and I'm going to use a bit of the cardboard to fill the empty spots, so I have the support for my tag. You can see this is not working here. I have to make it smaller. That's why it's good to measure. Okay. And now I have more or less even surface, so I can put a bit of the 3D foam tape and stick the elements on the top. Okay, so 1 and 2. It's absolutely ugly now, but you have to look past that. This is not the last step. We are just sticking the element on the top. Okay. Oh, much better. And in the meantime, we got more light. Much more promising, I would say. Elements are all coming together, and you don't have to worry about the details that much. Well, first of all, you can always put something to cover if something is going wrong, or you can sprinkle something on the top. This is our one of the next steps. I'm just adding a button for extra balance, and maybe another one on the bottom here. I would like to put the rose as well. Big blob of gel, and I'm going to put it, whoops, big blob of gel, yes, just on the very edge of the wire. Now checking with my photo. I have space here. Maybe one more rose. Yeah, that will work. I just need to get rid of these little pieces of flower. Well, I finally cut the flower. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is very nice. So now, I'm going to do one more thing before proper drying. I would like to do some sparkle, but also a little bit of the resist before adding the color. So what is great about resisting, it's very easy to make. You can use any kind of transparent gel medium. For example, soft gloss gel is very easy to apply. And you can cover elements which are made of paper with the gel, and then when you're going to spray it or with paint or color, this is not going to absorb that much of the color as the paper would usually do. So this is like a bonus technique that you can always use if you'd like to create extra effects. The truth is, I want to have resist with glitter because this is very sparkly tag. So there's no color yet, but we're moving towards that step. So, who's ready for glitter? Oh, shiny. So shiny. Sparkly and shiny. Yep. And it's going to stick also a little bit to your background if your gel is not completely dry yet. So this is like extra bonus effect. So beautiful. So shiny. And I'm going to tap off the excess. Ta-dam, ta-dam. And I'm going to dry it after that. You can imagine this is going to be a bit of glitter disaster now. Okay, looks a little bit better. So let me dry with the heat gun again. When you dry on your cutting pad, please remember to put something under so you're not going to make it warped. That's why I'm using the proper spraying mat for that step. So the glitter should stick enough. Now I'm going to add a little bit more of the final texture. I'm going to add some of the art stones, and then we're going to work on the color and the final touches. Let's find the missing part of my project. Yes, here it is, my photo. Perfect. Now, I told you that I absolutely love art stones. These are very lightweight, white mini stones that you can stick to almost anything using a small amount of glue. Really, you don't have to be very generous to get good results. And I'm going to add them to my project for extra texture and to hide a bit of glitter as well, because I was quite generous and I'm not even sure if I wanted that much, but it's too late. So I'm going to use soft gloss gel again as my adhesive, and that was the right time to cover all the ugly parts. So if there's something you don't like for some reason, you can sprinkle the beads or art stones or anything similar that you may have in your stash to add the texture. What I really like, I like to have some of the art stones on the wire. So this is why I'm intentionally putting the gel on the wire as well. I just think it looks so cool. Okay, maybe a bit more here for extra textures. Okay, so you can see the art stones here and here a little bit, here on the wire, and even on the top of the flower. This is going to be one of the lovely textures of this project. So just a little bit more on the roses, maybe. Okay. Now, again, the moment when you have to do a bit of mess. So I put new paper so maybe you can see what I'm doing. And I sprinkle my mini art stones in the selected parts of the project. So I'm trying to go everywhere where I was putting my soft gel. You can see why I love the art stones so much. They stick to the wire in the most amazing way. This is so cool. So, tapping off, drying again, trying to recover a little bit more of the art stones and use them again if I need to, just checking if maybe I missed a spot here. Closing the jar before I will have a art stone disaster. And now drying everything again with the heat gun. Let's put the photo in the right spot before, so you can see how it is all coming together. Okay, this is the plan. And I think this is going to be a good moment to start applying the color. I will put again the paper on so you can see the background. Now on the clear tag, this is the challenge, so it is not so easy to see the colors on the transparent background. So white hopefully is going to work. And we need water or something else to help our paints move like watercolors on the background a little bit. If you look here, you can see there's a semi-transparent effect. And I got this effect using two kinds of paints from my line. I use the Sparks, which are super shiny, and you can use metallic to get more transparent color. I used the transparent 3D gloss gel. So this is not the matte. The matte would be all, you would see it will be much more white. I wanted to have really transparent effect. Okay. So just to remind you, this is the color combination. You can just, you know, make your own. You don't have to follow my idea. And pinks and reds together are nice, but maybe you like other color combination. Don't be shy. And now the surprise of the day, I'm not using water. I'm using the tea stain, which is a very heavy tea infusion, probably like 5 tea bags in half of the teacup, black tea, and it's in Prima water bottle. Why this is not water? Because I'm lazy, and it works as well, and it's going to make my project look vintage at the same time, right? So why making the project wet 2 times, right? So, you know. So just to start, I'm going to spray a bit with the tea stain. I was using the same tea stain 2 weeks ago, and it was the project with the the paper bag, and this is my ultimate way of creating the brown effects on the projects. Now I'm using 2 colors of paints, and I'm going to dab both colors in different parts of the project, trying to keep it more or less in balance, starting with any of the color. There's no way that you can just, you know, you have to start with white or you have to start with blue. No, you just start with any color and you continue with the other. And then I'm adding the color for extra contrast. And of course I have to water it down so it is going to flow on the acrylic. As you can see, I'm trying to make the paints in groups. It is not painting happily everywhere, it is more making spots. And now more of the brown tea, and you can see how rich the paints are. They're going to give you lovely drips. What is good about that technique? Easily, if it's too much, you can remove part of that with the baby wipe, or if it's not enough, you can reapply and spray more. For example, this would be a nice spot. These are acrylic paints, which means they're going to react with water when they are wet, and they are going to be permanent after drying. So it is quite long working time if you would like to get the effects you really like. You don't have to worry that this is going to be, you know, too wet or maybe dry too fast. It's very forgiving technique. So I'm going to dry it and see if I need any more paint or I like it as it is. Probably I'm going to add some more of the red accents. I have to tell you, this is my favorite shade of red. This red wine color is like ultimate red. I just absolutely love. Well, okay, let's continue. It's time for a final color assessment before we are going to do the finishing touches. Let's put it on the white background. Oh, almost white. Looks okay to me. I am really tempted to add some red splatters here and there because I think there's something missing. So I'm going to water down this a bit, and I'm just using my water. This time I'm using water. Okay, so I take a bit of the paint, I dip my brush to make sure it's going to come off the brush easier, and I'm going to add some of the splatters because you never have enough of the red wine. Okay, now I'm going to close the paint, and maybe I'm going to add tiny bit more of the color on here, but I don't have to add the paint. I can always add the final touch of the sparkly glitter because everybody loves glitter. Sometimes in their life there's this moment when you just need more glitter. They're the girls. They're going to be here. I think they're a little bit too clean, so I have to add a tiny bit of the tea stain to them. So now they are a little bit more vintage. I'm just removing that from her face so she is not so dark. Sticking them in the right position. Now carefully making sure I won't see any of the 3D foam. Looking good, I think. And maybe tiny bit more of metal because it's very red. I can add paper clip or two. Yes, and the last touches. If you think that you're missing something, you can go back and add some of the glitter, and you can add the sentiment. I have one here called Fairy Tale Stories, but I'm sure you can find something. For example, I've got the stickers like this, and I can find, for example, Live Inspired. Wouldn't that be perfect here? I think it will be. So I'm adding that on the top of the photo. Just here. Maybe on extra dimensional foam. Because everything is dimensional on this tag, so I can't forget about the sentiment. Live Inspired. Last touches. Oh, poor lady, her face was so dirty. Last touches. Small brush, soft gel, and tiny bit of glitter here and there. because we can. And because it is going to be super sparkly tag. Of course, this is not completely dry yet, and you can decide that you want to add more of the paint. It's now like really personal decision. What do you think you need on your project? Some people like the sparkle so much they're going to put quite a lot. Some people would prefer to have more of the paint. It's now playing and making some decisions. Making sure everything is sticking. And the project is basically ready, I think. Now, just to show you both of them together, you can see composition is very similar. I made the one today a little bit more sparkly. Here's a little bit more of the white space, but generally the concept is the same. And very, very fun to do. Well, I told you, the ugly side is very ugly. Now, if you would like to see how it looks with the paper on the back, I will try to find this piece of paper that I had. This is kind of neutral color that you can see. This is almost like a page from the acrylic album now. And you can work on the other side as well. So I hope that was fun to work. I will just do a quick recap for you. So in the first step, we were using the 3D gloss gel and we were using the stencil to create transparent background on the acrylic tag or glass surface. Next, we were using the same 3D gloss gel and the foam tape to add embellishments in the right places so you will be able to see them. We were using Prima flowers, buttons, metal embellishments like mechanicals. We were using elements from the molds like this. These are elements from Prima molds. And of course, putting it all together. Then I was using the little card, like this one, as my base to put the photo on the top. This card comes from the set of the cards like this. You can buy it at Michael's, but also in your local stores outside US as well. And I was using a lot of dimensional foams to create the look. So there is also the wire attached. This is something that you can replace with regular wire. This was the wire thread from Prima, but you can use a lot of twine to create like a nest, happy nest, or anything that is going to stay in place. Finally, when the elements were glued down together using the 3D gloss gel and the foam tapes, we were putting the top layer, so the flowers and the embellishments, and painting that all with a little bit of the glitter and soft gel. Oh, okay, I missed a spot here. Whoa, I have to put more of the glitter here. Sorry. Soft gel is resistant, so you can see these flowers, they are just shiny, but they didn't get that much color. This is kind of cool technique you can use in the future, so you're going to have resist glittery space, and if you're going to spray your flowers, like here, they're not going to take that much of the color. They're going to get just tiny bit, and they're going to sparkle in a beautiful way. We're also adding a bit of the art stones, which are beautiful white texture. I use the smallest size called mini art stones, like this. And I was gluing them with the soft gel as well. Finally, I was using two colors of paint. I was using metallic red wine and Sparks butterfly spells, together with water or the tea stain, which I was spraying on my project, to create the color palette. And because the acrylic is reacting with water when it's wet, you can easily make it run on your acrylic tag, and then the effects are just beautiful and very delicate. And finally, we were adding finishing touches with a bit of glitters or art stones or whatever else you would like to have. And this is how we finished. So I'm just going to say my goodbyes to you, and I hope you enjoyed. So this was my Facebook Live Mixed Media Minutes, and I'm so glad to see you all. And thank you for all the hearts and all the support. I could see we had a lot of people watching today, which means you were kind of intrigued with the idea of the clear project. And just to remind you, you don't have to look for the clear tag, really. You can use some of the old pages from the acrylic albums. One of you mentioned that. But you can get a cheap photo frame, and you can alter the frame and take the glass or the acrylic out of the frame and then play on the top of that using techniques including, for example, alcohol inks, or using acrylic paints in water, or a lot of resist effects. I really encourage you to try texture, and the best beautiful effects you are always going to get using transparent texture, glossy texture on the transparent tag. This is going to be something not too heavy, just enough to create beautiful layers. Just to remind you, if you would like to see more of the projects, you should visit us at Finnabair.com, which is my blog, and we have tutorials twice a week for you and sometimes much more. So we've got a beautiful Prima website you should absolutely visit for a lot of amazing colorful projects. So if you have some friends who maybe you would like to start, please tell them about these resources. Just please use it as much as possible because we made it for you. If you'd like to be up to date, please follow our Instagram accounts, which is Finnabair and Finnabair Studio for me, and Prima Marketing, of course. These are the links Sharon is putting here right now for you. Thank you so much, guys, for joining, and I hope you enjoyed. I had a good time with you, as always. So thank you so much again. Thank you, Sharon, for the help. It was Finnabair with Prima Marketing from my studio in Ireland, and see you soon in social media. Have a great evening or afternoon, depending where you are, and see you soon again.